Oh, welcome aboard. This is John Logston, and that is,
Hi, Ben Zackheim,
and this is You Should Be Writing, episode number 3. That's right.
otherwise known as episode 31, but okay.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That is not a gang symbol. It is a 3. I don't know how to do a gang symbol. So
yeah, you definitely do not.
yeah. So we're talking about the following things today. We're going to talk about the KENP price drop. We're going to talk about a few things that I know that we're supposed to be doing, like 2 big things is what we're going to do. But basically, we're taking the second segment of this and talking about some BookBub tips that we had mentioned last week. And the ones that we're going to cover are create target keywords, make books international, run Google AdWords campaigns, and pre-schedule social media content. So, Ben,
Topic 1.
Ben, no, real quick, what happened with you over the week?
Boy, it's been a mostly doing work for money as opposed to writing.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm saying it's not been a good 2016 so far. No, I mean, as far as writing is concerned, but so mostly that, but I've been continuing to do the 15-minute thing and getting some good word counts done. But I'm not happy with the stuff I'm doing right now. That's one of the main problems. So I'm trying to leave every single day with, in the middle of a sentence, that I really look forward to getting to the next day, so that I'll be excited about getting up and working. But it's still a bit of a trudging through the mud right now. So so I think it was mostly doing some marketing stuff. I crafted a few really nice tweets, but it's been a pretty low-key week. What about you?
Also, just to point out that you and I have been doing a heck of a lot of work on the authorhelper.com, and
True.
So that's kind of been eating into our ability to market and do the writing stuff as we should be doing. You should be writing. You should not be working on the Author Helper. But
you should not be working on your website.
Yeah, but we have been working on the Author Helper because we're trying to help other authors navigate the stuff we went through. But as soon as we get some other key components, I'm sure everything will come back into to play. My numbers are actually up this week, so that's good. I actually, a couple of quick points, learned 2 things. Number 1, reading deals, the thing that I signed up for the $79 for the reviews, have gotten 4 reviews from that. And so I'm still due 6 more. But anyway, 3 of the reviews were 5-star and 1 was a 3-star. So I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? Sure. So anyway, that's one thing.
How much did they promise? They promised 10?
10, yeah.
Okay, so that's the guarantee.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's one piece of information. The second thing is that I found out why I was going poorly on some of my ads. They weren't doing that great, and I figured out what the problem was.
Facebook ads?
Pardon?
Facebook ads, right?
Yeah, Facebook ads. Is because I was going too wide with it. I was targeting too big of a field of people. So
how big?
I'm sorry, you're quiet, so I can't hear you.
How big?
So I was doing like, well, I tried something. Usually I target less than 500,000 people, but I was trying to target a much larger audience because I was trying different keywords, different things, aiming for, and I ended up at like 2.1 million in one of the target audiences. And it actually did really well at first. And then it just went, I mean, really bad. I put it this way. I lost money on ads for the first time in like 4 months.
Wow.
In one day, I lost like $3, and I was like, "What? This can't happen."
Wow.
So I refocused, retargeted, and it took a couple of days. But what ended up happening is that when your target audience is too big, your relevancy score drops. And when your relevancy score drops, apparently, your ad doesn't get either fed as much, or I don't know what it is. It just it didn't.
That's one of their main. That's one of the ways they measure whether they're going to show it or not. If it's not relevant, you're not going to get as much exposure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyhow, so I retargeted. I dropped it actually down to 180,000 people, something like that, from 2.1 million to 180,000. I said, let's try this angle. I did that, and next thing you know, my everything started picking up. So I think I dropped my spend too, big time, and I dropped my spend down to like $20 a day for the one ad and $10 a day for the other ad. And now I'm getting about a 300 to 400% ROI.
Wow.
So it made a big difference, and that's just for those two ads. I mean, those were the ones that were kind of going on, and those ones I've been making money on a lot of my ads, but though that ad lost me money, and I was like, that's what I mean. When I don't mean overall I lost money for the day. I mean that ad lost me money.
Yeah.
So, anyway, lesson is don't go too wide. You're not going to be happy with that likely. So
that's what Dawson basically advises.
I know. And
keep it to a million or less. Yeah, exactly. You stray from the formula, you feel the burn. That's it. You know?
No, it's true. And I pride myself on finding what works and sticking with it. And
to it.
I think
don't get like me. Don't start acting like Ben now.
Trying stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move into another topic. So instead of just doing the 15-50 or 10-10, this time we're going to go ahead and do a quick KENP price drop talk. Essentially what this is that KDP has dropped their prices per page read. It was at 0.0049 or thereabout, and it looks like it's now at 0.0041. So, that kind of blows.
Yeah.
Put it.
But explain that you crunched some numbers, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I think we did what do we say? Let's see. Let's do 1,000 pages. 4-1. Oh, that's stupid. All right. Anyway, the bottom line is
you've been coding all day long and you can't do simple math. Okay.
No. Right. It's anyway. The bottom line is you're going to lose money. If I think it was something we said, if we had $660 at 0041, it would be $707 or $710, something like that at 004. So it's like 40
it's 40 bucks. It's $40 for a $600 to $700 per month thing. It's $40. That is not chump change. That's a big chunk.
No, but here's the point about that, and that is, do you go distribution wide because of this? I mean, look, the bottom line is that Amazon has you, over a barrel. They can change anytime they want. 80% of your income comes from there. 20% of your income comes from wider distribution, if you're lucky. For me, that was not the case.
Yeah.
So for somebody like me, I'm losing 0.008, I guess, but 0.008. But anyway, the argument for me is I'm still making more money on Amazon Select than I am if I go wide right now.
See, but you're not guessing. You've actually gone wide, and you've done KDP Select, and you did KDP Select. You tried that. You went wide. You tried that, and then you went back to KDP Select. So you've walked the walk, and you've decided for a fact that it does not work for you. But the interesting thing is I'm taking the Stevenson course right now, and his success in the thriller mystery business. He's basically 55-45 split with Amazon to wide, and so it really does vary. And he also he has a name, so it might not be he's kind of a best-selling author as it is, but I think it's worth noting that everybody should try. There's like nothing. It's labor, it's work. You have to go wide. You got to get everything up on the services using either Smashwords or direct to what is it, draft to digital. But I wouldn't go to each individual place to publish it, but you got to try.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, between those two, I have found more ease of use going draft to digital than I did with Smashwords. It's just my personal thing.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about tweaking, so to each his own. But I agree. The other thing to note is that, you know, the genre that you write in is going to make a difference. Your popularity is going to make a difference.
Yep.
Also, you know, Stevenson talks about doing deals with, you know, Kobo and stuff like that, and getting it on their lists and distribution lists and so on. And that's cool. I actually tried that, and they were like, yeah, well, you can get back to us when you actually sell a whole bunch of books on our service, you know. And I'm like, well, it's kind of a, you know, chicken and egg, you know. So, I mean, they were nice about it. It wasn't like bad, but it was just like, that's kind of the feeling I got. I was just like, yeah, we'd love to work with you at some point. Anyway. So,
but that's an opening. That's an opening, though, man. I would take that.
Definitely. And
I mean, because they don't have to come back and say that at all. They could come back and say not interested.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not putting it down at all. What I'm saying is that, I mean, they actually are very nice people, and if you are getting some traction on their service, you should absolutely contact them. And see if you can't, you know, get further with that. But yeah, for me, I just wasn't making enough money on going wide distribution, so I brought it back in-house. And what kind of stinks is I have gotten a number of people emailing me and saying, hey, you know, can I get this anywhere other than Amazon, because I don't do Amazon. And that kind of stinks, but you know, there's just not enough of them, to make it worthwhile. So all right, we got to move on. So let's go ahead and talk about these BookBub things. So number one, create target keywords. What's that all about?
Well, I mean, creating target keywords or creating keywords to describe your book, to describe the genre is, you know, it's an absolute fundamental part of getting your book out there. And so BookBub is made, by the way, these tips are from the BookBub post. I think it's called 98 Marketing Tips for Authors, something like that. It came out a couple of weeks ago. I love it. I loved it. I've been covering the tips because they really do cover fundamentals. And plus, quite a few of them, these tips are based on actual data from BookBub. It's like Amazon coming out and saying, which they do. Amazon gives marketing advice. But my sense from the list of that BookBub was giving was they were much more interested in really giving us some insight into what works on BookBub. And we all want to get on BookBub, right? So if we follow some of these tips that we're going to be talking about tonight, you have a better chance of getting on BookBub, like no question about it. So the target keywords tip is basically creating you know, a set of keywords or key terms that relate to your book, whether it's the genre, whether it's artists or writers that you are similar to, or books that your book is similar to. There are keywords and terms that you should come up with when you're making your marketing plan before you launch your book that kind of capture the you know, all of the terms that come up when you talk about your book. So it's important to come up with those terms, as you'll see in one of the future tips, because you'll use that in the metadata for the book that you're publishing. You'll use it in the advertising that you do. You'll use it in the keywords areas for the for Barnes & Noble or Amazon or Kobo or whatever. These keywords will go in there so that people can find your book easier. And that's kind of the bottom line. The keywords are ways for people to find you and to find your book easier. So it's a good, like all of these tips are, all four of these tips, they're fundamentals that you have to get down, and they're always going to be true forever. Like, you know, unless we're nuked. These are things that are not going to be, they're not going to change because the market changes. So
give me an example of what you mean by like a target keyword. So let's say that you're writing a horror book. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first thing I do and what I advise my students to do is to go out and ask people whose work my work reminds them of, because you'll find a lot of people will know of authors that are kind of on the fringes. They're not Stephen King's, they're not Peter Straub's, they're, you know, edge authors, or edge books that, oh, you know, that book really reminds me of this other book I read called this, which I loved. It came out in 1978. And so it's really important to ask around, ask beta readers, ask friends who your book reminds you of. And they'll give you explanations of, you know, and you'll use terms like authors, like books, like genres that you've never heard of, that you can do some research on. You can go to sites like Hashtagify. I'm about to say something I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for. or a site called keyhole.com, I think. And it's a keyword or a market research tool. That's how I use it.
Okay.
You go to hashtagify me, or to hashtagify.me, or to Keyhole.
Okay.
Saying out loud is not fun. And you type in any of these keywords that come up that your friends mentioned or that you think your book is like, and you'll find all of these associated terms around those keywords that you enter on these sites, on these services. That'll give you some ideas. They'll spark ideas. You'll suddenly find out that, wow, droid sex is quite big, and I have droid sex scene in my book. Whatever it is, you'll just diving in, and it's like going to the library to do research. You go in, you're like,
platoon now.
Yeah, and then suddenly you find yourself, yeah. Am I out of time?
Time's up on that one.
Oh man, you asked such a good question. You led me down such a path. But no, I mean, it's basically, I think it's useful information. Create keywords for your metadata for the book that you're making, to find out what and who might be following those keywords and might be interested in those kinds of things, the genre, whatever. Go to hashtagify.me, go to Keyhole, enter them in, see what comes up, and you'll get a lot of ideas, and you'll get a lot of people who follow those genres.
Interesting.
Right? And that's really important if you're on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next one then. Make books international. You have 4 minutes.
Well, this is more going to be on you, but I think that as a staple, we can't keep looking at things from our little fiefdoms. Like America is not the center of the world. I hate to say it. A lot of people don't like to hear it, but we are. Yeah, I know. There's English, on the other hand, is one of the most spoken languages on the planet. India, a lot of people in India speak English. A lot of Europe speaks English. So I think it's important for people to open their eyes and to don't just go into KDP. You're yawning. Don't go into KDP. Yeah, you are. And just select all those countries and just kind of leave it at that. You should take a look at the other markets. You should take a look at what the pricing is. You should choose one. Choose India. Choose Canada. Choose Australia. Which Australia and New Zealand for me they're probably number 2 on the between those 2 and 3 after America. So go to those the Amazon sites and do some research and see because don't just listen to what Amazon's telling you to price them. You might find that they're priced way too low or way too high.
Yeah. So
just pay a little bit more attention. Not only publish it internationally, but pay attention to 1 or 2 markets and give it just a little bit of love once a month. And I think it'll be at least educational, if nothing else. Well,
and also, I mean, you should always look at your reports to see how many sales you're actually getting from other parts of the world. I mean, for me, I get more sales in the UK than I do in the US. And that's probably because I write very Monty Python. So
yeah, exactly.
It's that side. And most of my advertising, frankly, is in the UK. Whenever I do stuff in the US, it doesn't perform nearly as well.
Yeah.
Now, it's also a bonus because the exchange rate is nicer coming from there than going to there.
That's a good point.
And I have friends over there, and they actually say, for them, spending, £5 is like nothing.
Yeah.
They're anything like under $50 is just like, why bother paying? Why bother buying?
That's good information.
It's definitely a different dynamic, but yeah, I mean, absolutely, you should take a look into that and look at your reports and see what's trending there. And if you are doing ads, target some ads, at least in the UK, and see what happens. And make sure, of course, that you have an affiliate code in the UK. And people are like, "What, you can do that?" If I'm in the US, absolutely, you can do that. What you do is you just go to the affiliate dot. It's hold on, I'll tell you. Okay, it's affiliate-program.amazon.co.uk. So it's the same thing as what you have for the US, except for it's instead of .com, it's .co.uk.
Yeah.
You sign up just like you do here. The primary difference is going to be that your affiliate code there is going to be, let's say you use the same code, you call it my code. which I'm sure is taken. But anyway, my code -20 is going to be US, -21 is going to be UK. Now, currently, Amazon only offers affiliate options in the US and the UK. It doesn't offer it in Canada or anything else.
Okay.
But
that's
still,
good to know.
you should use them, because if you use them, you're going to be able to connect your ads into that. Everything can go through that, and you can see, are your ads actually translating all the way
Converting.
through, or are you getting, are you making money from your ads, even on the affiliate side of things?
Yeah. No, that's a good. We have to do an episode on just affiliate links, please. I will make a note of it.
Okay.
Oh, we're out of time on that.
All right. So now we get to go to the next item, which is run Google AdWords campaign.
Yeah. So with those target keywords that you came up with in your research at the beginning, you can go to AdWords. And what Google AdWords is it's not running ads on your blog. It's running ads of your own on other sites. And so any of the Google ads that you see on the internet, you can be in that rotation. You can be one of them, or several of them. And so it works on the same premise as any other ad buying, like in Facebook or Twitter. You go into Google AdWords and you enter, you basically can create a campaign and create ads with ad creative, which is super strict. Like it's like the haiku of ads. Like, Facebook has, images and videos and, titles and blah, 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 descriptions. And this is none of that. It's like, I don't remember what the limitations are, but it's basically the equivalent of like 150 characters, I think, total for the main ad part with a header. And then you name a link. And you can target it based on Google AdWords recommendations. There's also, in addition to hashtagify.me and Keyhole, Google AdWords is a great place to look up and do research on keywords for your genre, for the book that you're writing.
Now that should be obvious to everybody, but why specifically would you say that Google is the most sensible?
Well, it's not the most sensible, but it's definitely.
I don't mean it's the most sensible, but why is it sensible?
Yeah, it's sensible, and it's because it's affordable. The same way you can, state what you want to spend and, set up your budget.
Sorry, don't mean that. I mean, for searching keywords, a lot of people use Google AdWords just to search keywords and find information on that. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Are you leading me somewhere? I mean, I think the main thing is that you are plugging into Google's black box, or it's not as black a box. It becomes a gray box.
That's right.
So they open up how many times people search for that keyword, estimated per month. You can get related keywords. I mean, the recommendations they give based on a keyword you enter is a little bit actually overwhelming. It's too much, if anything. But too many options is good as long as you have the focus to whittle it down. So yeah, the
bottom line is that if you put the effort into it, you can find keywords that are incredibly useful if you go to do advertising on Twitter, Facebook,
yes,
AdWords, obviously, anywhere that you decide to go to do any of these things. It's gold.
Yeah, and Amazon's search engine. Amazon, searching for Amazon, you want to use the Amazon search engine. Just type in your genre, the kind of book you are writing, and see what Amazon search engine gives you in the drop-down list. But to get a kind of a leg up and maybe even be on the edge of a trend, checking Google AdWords can give you some insights there. Could give you a leg up. Yeah. So Google AdWords is good and frankly, some of the conversion on the first 2 books that in the Shirley Link series were very good. I made money on Google AdWords all the time. Not so much on the following 3. So what the reason for that, I don't know. So, it's worth trying out. The same way Facebook ads and Twitter ads are worth trying out. It's worth trying out Google still. And they're still now I guess they're the second largest advertiser online. So display ads, they're number 1, but advertising overall, they're number 2 to Facebook, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. And you had 3 seconds to spare. Well done.
Sweet.
All right. So now we're going to go to
our theme song.
Scheduled social media content, which basically leads from what we just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, social media is always going to be around, just like Google and Google AdWords is always going to be around. So it's important to get your social media life together, and the foundation upon which I think any sane author will stand upon is something like Hootsuite, that allow TweetDeck, these things that allow you to do your tweets, do your posts ahead of time, craft them when craft them nicely, give them the thought they deserve, but do it when you have time. And just knowing that you don't have to worry knowing that you don't have to worry about posting because you have enough in the queue for the entire week is just a huge relief, and it can free up the brain space so that you can do your writing.
Yeah.
More important things.
One of the things also I wanted to point out that I've noticed with my own tweets when I try to get people to jump over to sign up for a newsletter or whatever it is, right? Obviously, images are important because text just basically becomes noise at this point, unless you're Kim Kardashian talking about, God knows what.
Kim Kardashian.
But, yeah, pretty much, yeah. But, if you're just using text, that's not good enough. You need to do more than that. Put an image. But even more than that, if you're trying to sell something or you're trying to get people to join your newsletter or what have you, you only have so much space to put text, and then you just have an image. So what I actually did was an A/B test on this, and I put more text and just had a picture. And then I put less text with the links on separate lines, and I had the picture actually have information on it.
Good, yeah.
And the one with the information, I didn't overdo it. I mean, I see some people just, fill it so much, it's like, I'm not gonna read that.
Why even have a picture?
Yeah, exactly. But it was just a pretty, quick thing with an image, and then the book bundle, and it said, blah blah books for 50% off, something like that. And then it said, comedy da 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 with the hashtags, and then I put link. That's it. And that got way more clicks than just the image with more text. So something to think about if you're whenever you're doing that kind of stuff is, if you want people to click something, make the image good and then put text on the image in such a way that's catchy.
Yeah.
It might help you get some sales.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. That's some good kind of drill down advice. But generally speaking, and this also brings up a really good point. Always go with images, always go visual, but also brings up a good point that, I think a couple of things, Hootsuite, TweetDeck, whatever, none of them do Twitter cards or, Facebook boost, things of that nature, Facebook ads. So really when you really want to spend some money to make some money, I would go to twitter.com and go to their advertising area and craft your stuff there. And you can actually schedule that also. You don't have to post it immediately like you do on twitter.com. You can schedule it for a later date, and that way you're guaranteed to look great. All right, because Hootsuite can mess up the crafting that I do can just totally go to hell. It could show up really poorly. And if you do it on twitter.com or ads.twitter.com, you're guaranteed it'll look good. And plus you get access to things like TweetDecks and some other stuff like the Twitter video, which I would like to talk about next week.
You talked about that last time.
Yeah, I want to talk about it in detail next week.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh.
Boom.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do I stop it?
I think we're like hard coding ourselves to, it's like waking up like 10 seconds before your alarm goes off, to kind of get that internal clock going.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I like it.
All right. So that's pretty much it. Let's wind down. Then what you want to talk about next week is the Twitter video.
Yeah, I'd like to show, if I can do a screen share, I'd like to show an example of how to set it up.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Your bandwidth is so bad, though. I don't know if it's going to work.
Thanks.
Now, I did send you a link last week from the dude regarding the animation, too. Did you ever have a chance to look at that?
The dude with the animation?
Yeah, you asked me to send it to you. It was like Automato or...
Oh, yeah, that was for recording videos, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But we were talking about Twitter videos, right?
Yeah, I don't remember associating it with that, but I'll check it out. I didn't get a chance to really check it out. I know it's mostly a premium service, so I'm not interested. They're free.
He uses the non-premium side of things. There it is. Animoto.
Animoto.
Animoto. Animoto.
Animoto.
Anyway, it's something to check out. Frankly, I can do that with, you know, Studio. What is it? Vegas Studio
Camtasia.
or something like that.
Camtasia. Oh, okay.
No, not Camtasia. No, I guess I could do it with that too. But yeah, do it with Corel. That's what I do like most of my music videos with. So I mean, I could do that kind of stuff anyway.
Cool.
So,
also, speaking of music videos, where's our theme song? We got two guitars back there. Huh?
You said you were going to put it together.
No, I'll do the lyrics, but I'll change the lyrics every time. You see what I mean?
Hold on. How about?
I'd rap. What's that? I can't hear it.
You should be writing.
Very heavy.
That was pretty good. I like that.
That was my son. He does those. He actually did that for me for Starliner for Intergalactic Investigation Bureau, which, by the way, is past QA. They're doing a couple of tweaks on it, and then that should be also getting ready to launch. And I've also got the other one in the queue too. So
yeah, why mention the books we're working on? Jeez.
Yeah, why do that? All right, we should wrap it up. Otherwise, we're going to yammer on for another half an hour.
Yep.
So,
true.
All right. Well,
bye.
Remember,
you should be writing.
And also marketing. Just say. All right. Have a good week. Or I guess.
Bye.